Hello, East and East community. My name is Chenowith Stites Allen, and I'm an alum from the class of 1992. I'm an art therapist, and I will be facilitating our Expressive Art and Wellness Experiential Workshop. This workshop is one of a year-long series of events commemorating the 200th anniversary of the founding of the Williams College Society of Alumni. Williams is spending this bicentennial year celebrating and grappling with our past, examining our present, and imagining our future. We are united in a shared commitment to liberal arts education, to lifelong learning, and to an inclusive society where all alumni feel that they belong. Just a few reminders before we get started. Everyone was automatically muted upon entry, but you do have the ability to unmute. Please remember to use good Zoom etiquette and unmute responsibly. Today's session is 1 hour long. This is a time and space for you. So if you have to leave early, I understand. I won't take it personally. And I hope whatever time you do spend with us is restorative for you. Please note that Williams will be recording today's session, but because it's interactive, we'll turn off the recording function whenever people are invited to share. You're welcome to share or to not share at your own comfort level. And when you do so, please be mindful of how you take and make space. As we begin today's program, the Society of Alumni has invited me to acknowledge a legacy of displacement of Indigenous Mohican people from the lands upon which Williams College is built. Williams College resides on the ancestral and spiritual lands of the Mohican people. Each of us comes to this virtual space from all over the country on the traditional land of Indigenous peoples. We pay respect to our Indigenous elders, past and present, by acknowledging our troubled history. I would also like to acknowledge that we gather today in a challenging moment in time. We are emerging from a year of COVID, moving through a cultural shift towards a deeper reckoning with racism and systemic injustice, and perhaps feeling apprehensive about transitioning to a new way of being safe together, body, mind, and spirit, and what that might look and feel like. I invite you to be present in this space today in a way that feels restorative to you. I also want to assure you that today's workshop will not be clinical art therapy. You don't have to be an artist, and I won't be interpreting anyone's art because I try really hard not to ever do that. But I do want to honor my profession by taking about 3 minutes to give you a quick Art Therapy 101 that was developed by my colleague, Fran Englander. Also, this might be a good time, if you haven't already, to gather something to write with and something to write on for when we are making art together. So art therapy, one of the reasons that I so love my profession is that art therapy can be healing in a variety of ways, creating art together. So one way, I like to think of it as 3 different circles. One circle is the process of art making. So pounding with clay can be a way of getting out anger or stress. Scribbling with crayons or something can be a way of externalizing energy. During this year of uncertainty, you may have heard of adult coloring books or coloring books, and that can feel really good because I can choose a red coloring pencil and fill in a little space and have control over that one thing. So art therapy, the process of creating art itself, can be healing. Another piece of art therapy that can work towards therapeutic goals is the product of art itself. So what you have created, it can be a way of communicating with yourself, and that's the way that I usually use art, to learn more about yourself. The art product creates something and bypasses some of our cognitive filters, and so that we can see ourselves in ways that we might not, when we get stuck in our head, we can see ourselves in this externalized art product. It can also be used to communicate to other people. We have, at the Williams College Museum of Art, we can see art and see different ways that the artists are communicating with us and telling us stories about their lives throughout history. And we can do the same way with the art that we create. And finally, the third circle in the ways that art therapy can be healing is the idea of participation. So being together, we are together here today, and that can be healing in itself, no matter what the art product that we create, no matter what the art process, but just this time collectively being together in the relationship that is built. So that is the way that art therapy, I love it because we can come at it in different ways to have a healing experience. Today is more about art and wellness. I want to invite you to create in just a moment, and we're going to think about our relationship with ourselves and also with our connection to nature. So if anybody has any questions, I will add my contact information into the chat. And so you're welcome to reach out to me with general questions about art therapy. So let's go ahead and get started with some art making, if that's okay with everybody. So we'll start off with drawing a shape of a body. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I have a Post-it note and just a head, some arms, some legs. It can be whatever shape you want it to be. It can be standing, sitting. It can just a really quick drawing of a body. You only have about a minute. So this is not likely to be a museum-worthy masterpiece. Be gentle with yourself and enjoy the imperfections that come up in your drawing. Okay. So think of a time that you have been in nature. How has one of your senses been ignited in that experience? What did you see? What did you smell, feel? What did you hear? Maybe even what did you taste when you were in nature? On the outside of your body tracing, draw an image or a symbol or an abstract design representing that sensory experience. We're just going to take 2 or 3 minutes to represent one sensory experience that you had sometime when you were in nature. We'll have a little bit of music playing for those 2 or 3 minutes while you're creating. What is another sense you have tapped into while outdoors? Add a representation of that sensory experience to your drawing.
you repeat that?
And I'm glad that you said that, because all of the prompts will also be in the chat. This is just add another sensory experience that you've tapped into while outdoors, and add that representation also on the outside of your body tracing. And one more. How was one other sense activated when you were in nature? And this can be from the same, all of three of these senses could have been from the same experience or different moments in time. But what is another sense that you have experienced when you have been in nature? Begin to get to a stopping place if you have not already with your different senses and experiences in nature. And I want to invite you now to be able to share together, to share with each other moments that you have experienced when you're out in nature, different ways that you've experienced the world around you through your senses. So and as you're sharing, there is, of course, no pressure to share in this time or space. If you want to, that would be amazing. Just to be able to be in this time together, but also I wanted to invite you to share as you're comfortable. So we can see who is in the boxes, but we don't know who is outside of these spaces. And so just as you feel comfortable, I'm going to invite you to share. But how these external stimuli have resonated within your body. So take about 5 minutes to add lines, shapes, colors, if you have them, inside of your body tracing now to represent some of those internal experiences that you felt when you connected with nature, to represent what maybe, if anything, nature has taught you in these moments. So what a lot of sort of what we've talked about how that nature was calming, or the gratitude that comes through, but in the inside, I apologize, the inside of your body. So let's just take about 5 minutes to add that to the practice, please. finally, as you're working, as you're coloring, think about, imagine how you can take the nourishment provided to you by nature and turn it back outward to care for our earth and the living creatures. How can the colors, lines, shapes, feelings you have represented internally propel you to take action to respond to and to restore our natural world? So we'll add some more, 4 or 5 more minutes to take those internal feelings into the space outside of the body. How we can turn outward to act in ways that care for and nourish the world around us. Looks like many of you are still working, and so I'd love to give you a choice right now. And you can obviously keep working too if you want. Would you rather continue in this sort of quiet space, being able to think about and create art, or would you like to listen to invite others to share and hear others how both the inside and how they want to turn outward? We can do either one. We'll have a chance to share either way at the end, but I just wanted to throw that out to you all. Sometimes it's nice to just have quiet time. We don't always get that in our busy.
going to have to leave in about 10 minutes. So I'd kind of like to hear some sharing.
Share what folks have to say. Okay, thanks. Who else has thoughts? I especially want to leave time for folks to share who didn't get a chance to the first time, if you want to. Erica, much for joining us. Take care, be well, and again, I'll hang out for a few moments if anybody has questions. I put my contact information in the chat, and I'm just so grateful for each of you for being here and being willing to share of yourselves and play around with art and your connection to nature today. Thank you. All right, well, thank you all very much. Be well, go into the rest of this Earth Day. Put your toes in the grass if possible, feel the wind through your hair or on your body and the sunshine on your face. Be well.